Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or welcome back, should I say, to the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown qualifiers. Number 2 for the North American region, or in fact the entire region it is. My name is Mitch Leslie, of course, as you just saw earlier on. Yeah. I'm here with Jason Kaplan, who has a fresh new hairstyle. And we're ready to jump into another round of 64 games. So we're doing two round of 64 games, just to see what's happening on the other side of this mini bracket, because we want to see how Nubris gets, I guess, on in this bracket so far. But they're going to have to go up against Kingsmen first before they get to Elevate.
Yeah, so it'll be, I want to give some benefit of the doubt to Kingsmen.
Sure.
But to be just completely frank with everyone, and probably everyone out there probably expects this, this will most likely be going Nubris' favor. This is a team who pushed Luminosity all the way last week in the quarterfinals to actually get their spot into the regional finals. Yep. And for in my boat, I feel like I have to go in the entire way throughout today and tomorrow. So it's going to be a tough game for Kingsmen, but it is a best of 3, and it is 1 hero limit, so there's always a chance for them to make something happen. We did see, actually, sorry to cut you off there, just yesterday I was thinking, it was Deathmatch Game and Bikini Beach Esports over in Europe.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Put up maps against Rogue and put up a decent fight against Creation.
Yep.
Like,
I remember that. You also it was Dorado. You were so shocked at, I think, as well.
Yeah, just to see these teams kind of like put up against the best in Europe that has to offer. So I'm hoping maybe there'll be some North American teams like that.
Well, there's only going to be one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen. That's by jumping in just a moment. I have let the teams know that I'm ready. Do note as well, of course, that Nubris are playing with their coach, Ro64, who, if you know, used to be with Rogue, who's now going to be jumping into their team for this one here as well.
He played at the Gamers Arena tournament. Or Esports Arena tournament, so the first North America LAN when the game was out, and he played, I think, if I remember correctly, it was with Pokelols. I think they placed 3rd. So he's not something to scoff at. He's a decent player, and we'll see he's going to be able to play here with this one.
Well, let's jump in, ladies and gentlemen, and see how this all turns out. Of course, you should know Nubris by now. It is Stoop, Coolmat, Vonafil, Custer, Buds, and Ro64. But on the more interesting side of things, perhaps for some of you, it is Kingsmen. It's going to be Disclaimer, Bike Age, Dragon, Tyrant, Canada A, and Wowzer.
All right. So, I'm trying to think. Vonafil's fit in relatively good with Nubris. What's up?
Lilith is on really high sensitivity.
Wait, that's a good thing you don't free cam ever.
I'm not going to ever free cam in this game. So.
Do it. I want to see it real quick. Just real quick. Just give me a second. Come on. Give me a little...
What?
That's not bad.
I play with really low sensitivity. Anyway, well, let's get off that one here as well. Let's look at the defensive team composition here as well. Nothing maybe too shocking here as well. Roadhog being the new McCree, or the new old McCree, depends which way you want to see it now, with the one-shot potential. Wowzer's going to be on the Soldier 76, Tyrant on the Mercy, Dragon going to be on the Farah, appropriately enough. Bike Age, of course, right here on the Reaper. And Disclaimer on Reinhardt.
All right, so as we are on stopwatch here for Payload now, if you guys haven't been with us earlier on the week or you missed out on this first game, it comes down to who pushes to the end the quickest, or if both teams don't finish, it comes down to who pushed the farthest. So we are using the new competitive mode. That's how it's going to be working on this map. And we do actually have a capture point map in the map pool here, but there is a possibility for ties if we do get to that. We'll explain it a little bit more because I don't expect to see it here in this best of 3. But Nubris is going to be on the attack with 4 seconds to go. Let's see what they can run with here. We actually saw some insane plays with Widowmaker yesterday. I wonder if Buds can kind of continue this trend.
Well, Ladano definitely set the standard. Let's see if Buds can match it now as well. Taking a lot of damage early on. I think that was coming in from Dragon there as well. Just the splash from the Rockets making life a little bit hard from now. As you can see, Nubris are starting to make their way forward fairly early on. Stoop, had better be careful. There is a Reaper lying in wait, but they're going to go straight through the hotel and start the fight off there.
That's the first kill coming in onto... Actually, Buds going down to Wowzer. But Ro64 does pick up one for himself, but with the Reaper behind them, Bikeage has to be careful to not get hooked in, just like his counterpart did, Wowzer, who actually survived this one. Disclaimer picks up 3 quick kills inside the hotel, and they shut Nubris down. This first attack is not successful.
Yeah, so Nubris are trying to push through all through that one.
What are you doing, Disclaimer?
Don't do that. That could hurt you a lot. Now he has to go back through and spawn. And Buds was just waiting to nail him down there as well. Guys, don't emote out in the open. Now look what happens. You push on towards the point here. This could have been a crucial mistake. Now Buds just wants to get a decent position. We're going to see Bike Age now do a heck of a lot of heavy lifting to keep these guys off the point, but it's just not going to work out. Coolmat as well is going to be causing a lot of problems. Great little hook caught on towards Dragon. Dragon at least can get back, but then the right click going to nail him pretty much up against the wall. And the same you could say of Canada A. Coolmat, not one to be messed with here as well. And I bet you Disclaimer is regretting emoting now, and Coolmat gets him back one better.
So, all right, we're going to have the point finally capture here for Nubris. Took him a little bit of extra time, about 1:20, but they did nonetheless here. This is going to be the snowball looking to come in for Nubris, as Coolmat will take down Dragon yet again, who does have Barrage. And look at this towards the side. It's going to be Bikeage. Bud's going to be coming in from behind them. Misses that first shot as Wraith Form will be used. But he at least still has the control here with the Infra Sight to hold them back on this point. Not to mention the rest of his team here
Profligator is going to be playing on that Reaper here as well. Has already been, and does have Death Blossom available here as well. How he plans to use it really remains to be seen now, as Coolmat has a decent vantage point towards the side. It's not really often you see Roadhogs up on the high ground here as well, but he generates a lot of threat and also prevents Kingsmen from actually pushing up down this road without dealing with him directly first.
He's playing hard blue, basically. The flanking Roadhog. We're going to see the Death Blossom coming out of Bikage, who's actually not going to pick up anything because Profligator's taking down his backline with Dragon, Canada, and Tyrant all falling. Even secures Wowzer at the end. Bikage is going to get one on Devonithil, but one's just not going to be enough, and this payload will continue to move.
No, both Reapers went in. Both, I'm pretty sure, tried to ult up there as well, but Nubrus definitely getting the better of that little engagement there as well. Profligator, nicely done from him there as well. Doesn't require too much. He just needs to get into the back line. He probably benefits from a little bit of healing there as well and is able just to try and wreak havoc. So, well, both are Death Blossom downs, but we do at least have a Shatter here for Disclaimer. Dragon as well is going to be in position to use that barrage. So combo potential here for Kingsmen to try and bind themselves some precious, precious seconds.
Disclaimer shield's got to be really careful with it. It's only down to about 700 HP left as the Infrasight's going to be popped out of Buds. And you're not going to take down a Widowmaker 1v1 when she has the vision of where you're going to be coming from. So this is a huge kill for them, and they can continue to push in. Not to mention Dragon's being forced back around the corner. Buds is just single-handedly holding them back.
And you're going to continue to show a minimum of respect there as well as Wowzer gets picked out, and that's an important first target to take. Now even more pressure down as well. The Earthshatter comes through, making those targets even easier for Buds to hit, but it's a Farah up, and Dragon stays alive for the most part, gets pretty much a full channel ultimate, but then has to fall down, and Coolmat going to give it the whole hog here as well. A lot of chaotic scenes happening here. I'm not even sure how Disclaimer got up there, but he's up there anyway. Well,
Custa and Vonithil actually died in that fight. The Earthshatter's going to come through, and this should actually pick up 2 quick kills, but no, Buds comes in from the backline, keeping his tanks alive, and this payload's going to continue to push here. He's got Infrasight yet again. Dragon trying to come around the corner. He's trying to be sniped out of the air here out of Buds, who's just missing his shots, but doesn't matter. Profligator won't, and we'll finish in about 3 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock. A good time here for Nubrus, considering they had a failed first attack.
Oh dear. So it went from bad to worse there from Kingsman, from the strange and unusual emote usage there out in the open while Buds was giving himself a free shot.
Yeah.
And then Reinhardt's in places that they shouldn't be. I think what happened is that Disclaimer was already charging and then got knocked upward with the whole hog and found himself pinning another Reinhardt on one of the highest points on the map. So that's kind of strange. I see that every day. Interactions between some of these abilities in this game can be rather unpredictable. But again, it's, yeah, not been good news for Kingsman because Nubrus have started off with a very, very quick time here. And we'll have to see. That's my paper, Jason.
Yeah, Nubrus, very fast time. Very, very fast time for them. Vonithil going to be playing damage this time. So on the Soldier, I've seen a lot of teams favoring this kind of situation where they want to run a heavy damage defense, which is what Nubrus will be doing, and only having one support like a Mercy to kind of extend the longevity of the point. So you're really relying on your aim here, where, you know, in other kind of forms of the defense, you have like a Lucia, right? And the Lucia is used to kind of engage against them where they're not expected to pick up quick kills, so you're relying more on strategy. So Nubrus is saying, well, we can just beat you in aim duels. We're confident in this kind of setup, so Kingsmen have to kind of respect it, and hopefully Wowzer can actually open up the point for them.
Yeah, this isn't exactly the most subtle team composition for Nubrus here as well. I mean, yeah, we'll have to see what Wowzer can do. Of course, we may even have a Zarya coming out on the attacking side here as well, which may be interesting. Thinking of maybe some combo potential. No Hanzo to join her at this stage. Maybe even a Diva here for Wowzer. That will be interesting. Something a little bit unusual, perhaps. But again, nothing else really crazy on the side of Nubrus. They're just going to do damage. It's a no-respect play. I think they feel they've got the measure of Kingsman here. So let's see what the attacking side can do here. So they work their way forward to this first choke point.
Yeah, the Diva is going to be kind of pivotal, almost. And this first push, if you can just block enough damage, but he uses it combo just to rush in, and well, when you have a Reinhardt just swinging away at you, your defense matrix does absolutely nothing, and Canada is just not really even near his team to go for the push. That was basically Wowzer pushing by himself on Diva with no backup.
They're so split right now. Canada is right back towards their little opening, and now Disclaimer's kind of caught, and you don't want to be going 1v1 against a Reaper in that position at all. Wowzer already being desuited, Bud's getting able to pick up Dragon easily enough there as well. Does mean bad news here for the attack of Kingsman. It's just not been working out. They've kind of been picked off bit by bit, and now if they don't get back and regroup, it's going to take them even longer to have a full force team ready to go.
And they don't have basically any time to work with. We're almost a minute into this. Like, that's how quick this is already gone. And that means that gives them like 2.5 minutes what to work with in time to push the payload across the map. Red Tire's going to be coming out of Buds, basically right in their face, so that really is not going to accomplish too much. Like Canada A going to be pulled in towards that hotel. little bit of safety escape for now, but you can look at Buds. He's just not really being punished too much. That shield should hold up for the most part here, but they're going to be hooking in from the backside. A big fight breaking out off of that, and look at that. That's going to be, was that Custer running around the side, realizing as long as he stays alive here, he's going to get a good res off.
Wowzer tried to get back in towards the side, and Canadian A's been able to keep a good charge on that rifle here as well, and it has worked out so far. Coolmat's had to fall down as Bikecage was able to lay into him there pretty nicely. It's going to be a fairly instant res coming out now for the attacking side, and Bikecage as well. And a decent little vantage point now to pick off Roffigator on his own, getting shielded up. There won't be much value for the Zaya for that one, but still it's going to keep him on his feet as Canadian A doing the dirty work here in through the hotel, but now has to deal with this Junkrat. He's going to do a lot of damage, and Buds won't be shut down so easily.
Buds gets 2 actually. Somehow he killed Dragon in the midst of that one. Maybe a trap came in or something. Slimmer's going to get a nice charge off, picking up 3 kills in total. With Custer going down, they don't have enough men, or even any men, to res on the point because of him. And this will be Kingsmen taking the point on Kings Row.
Yep, I have obviously 2 minutes left, plus the extra time going to be added on now after they capture this point as well. So not terrible from Kingsmen, actually. Once they managed to get the Graviton Surge, that's where it all started from. That didn't break open the point on its own necessarily, but even you know, even the Tac Visor, I think, wasn't enough to keep them going. The
game Noobers can play now is just, let's just stall on the payload, because we actually don't need to beat them as long as we delay. We're already 2 minutes and 20 seconds in here, Mitch. They have 1 minute and 17 seconds to finish off the map. And if they keep stalling like this, it's going to be over before they even have a chance.
Exactly. They have to get through this D.Va defense of Vonifil putting up right now, and he can just take to the skies and keep himself safe. Roffigator, we're going to try and come in a little bit later on, and Stoop's going to be cut down eventually by Dragon, but Bud stays alive, and this point's staying contended. There's really only so much that can be done at this stage, as well, now we will see the respawns coming back in, and the attacking side should have this one locked down. It took them a lot of time, Jason. Like you said, they kept it very time-intensive for Kingsmen, and that really puts them on a short rope. Well,
we're now 2 minutes and 55 seconds, 3 minutes in. It's physically even impossible to push the payload to the end in 37 seconds. So that's basically GG. I almost want to call it for them, but wait for the marker to actually take over. And now Kingsmen need to look towards the next map, right? They have a big map pool to choose from. They have Watchpoint Gibraltar, Volskaya, Lijiang Tower, Nabani, and Dorado. I feel like Lijiang Tower might be where they want to go with this one. Payload has proven just in this one map alone how difficult it can really be for them up against Nubrus. So maybe play somewhere safe. Maybe we play somewhere you could just skirmish and just play pretty much team deathmatch.
And I feel like we saw Kingsmen actually show an ability to break open that point and fight when they had to. Unfortunately, it just took far too long. So King of the Hill may even be a format that suits them a little bit more here. We're going to have to see, because we will get there eventually now, as Buds is continuing to exacerbate problems here now for Kingsmen. They're going to go down to the Earth Shatter being used.
Yeah, you can pretty much just say GG for them too, just to let them know it's actually over. A lot of teams have been struggling to take stock of what the time actually is, and they're squishy finally able to say it. So actually, that's one of the casters. Oh, no, that's our admin. Sorry. Admin. We have a different admin this week. So, yeah, first game in this series is now done. And we'll be going on to the next map shortly.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't want to harp on it at all.
It's just numerous. Like, it's one of the top 5-6 teams in North America.
Well, I don't even necessarily think that was the most striking thing for me. No. I think, to be fair, the Reinhardt there definitely lost the game for Kingsmen. Like, when he emoted on that point,
in the open,
you just die for free. You just saw Bud's like, all right, then. I know you can't do anything while you're emoting. You can't cancel emotes in Overwatch yet as well. So it's actually shows a lot of hubris in itself that you would actually stand on the point and do that. And then we saw the problem. By the time the Reinhardt got back to the point, his team was all dead, and he died in a couple seconds as well. So it's a massive, massive error. We even caught Coolmat there getting his own emote going as well, just saying, look, you're going to show a little bit more respect to us, because we are going to punish you. We are going to play seriously here as well. And you saw how doggedly Nubrus defended that first point, even just to give himself some extra time.
I want to hope it was like a slight mistake. I want to assume it was a mistake out of him. He didn't actually mean to do it.
I think it was a mistake to emote where he did. I think he would have been happy to emote.
I think, yeah, anyone is. Oh, wow, Gibraltar, really?
It's quite interesting, actually. We're not actually going to see a King of the Hill map. We're going to be going back to another payload map here. Obviously, this isn't a hybrid one. It's a full payload map, and it's a long one as well. Yep. So just even more opportunities, I feel, for Nubrus to throw a spanner in the works here for Kingsmen and prevent them from progressing.
It's a little risky. I guess we'll see. Just go ahead and get them know that we're actually ready to go. And we'll be dropping into this one in a few seconds. Yeah, I don't understand why not go for Lijiang. I don't know. Nubrus hasn't even been playing well in that game. That wasn't even astounding from them. And just the change of Roffigator and IDDQD wasn't like that big.
You don't feel it so much because Roffigator's playing that Reaper as well, and his role was just go in and do some damage. You know, guys like Coolmat. I honestly think the Roadhogs are a very central part of that attacking composition as well in many cases. Anyway, I digress. We're going to be going over towards Gibraltar now as well. We'll have to see what these two teams are going to be going with. It is a map that favours heroes that like high ground. Widowmaker is fine. 76 is fantastic. Genji is even also a consideration. Nothing wrong with the Winston thrown in the mix there either to get up towards those platforms, especially if you are on the attacking side here as well. So we'll see. The picks are going to be coming out like here as well, especially on that defensive side as well, which is what we're looking at to start things off here. So, Roffigator is actually going to go for the Winston by the looks of things here as well. That's the only real change we're seeing in this team composition. Otherwise, Roffigator on the attacking side, we've seen him pick up Reaper. In my opinion, will be fine here as well. Vonethil on the 76. Coolmat will again just be on that Roadhog. He is just incredibly strong right now. A lot of people call him the new McCree. You hook someone in, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to be dead.
Yeah, and they're running the single Mercy comp too, so they're really depending on everyone to stay alive and depending on to be able to hold us with triple tank. So Roffigator, he doesn't really have the opportunity to jump into the back without like a Genji there to kind of chase with him. So it's a little bit rough to play Winston in this situation.
It may just be chasing Mercies down and preventing Reses from coming in as well.
I would still like a Reaper here. I don't know, Reaper in this position he's actually standing in is so strong. But with no speed boost out of Lucio, it's kind of hard to make your ultimate super effective, but we'll see. We're kicking off this the first half of the second map. Remember, it's just a best of 3, so if Noobers do close out this map, it's going to be over. And we'll be going into the round of 3-2 with them up against Elevate. And Canada A. It's already taking some pot shots here from Buds.
Yeah, we just saw for a moment Kingsmen try and set up. They're in that little side room, maybe trying to get a read on where Nubris were. Of course, they're going to push this payload through. This is the pleasantries of Gibraltar. You're just going to get the payload to that first checkpoint, and that's rarely going to be contested until you start to come on the upside of that tunnel. So there we go. First point captured now as well, and you can see this is where the fight will start. This is when we're going to see Nubris want to jump down and actually start to brawl a little bit more now. But Coolmat has server room duty along with Stoop. Buds as well is going to be airborne as well, just trying to lay this damage down. Hopefully knock Disclaimer forward with a concussion blast if he can, and isolate that Reinhardt from the rest of his team. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's taking a couple of shots actually out of Buds directly to the face, which you don't want to see in these Pharah v Pharah battles. And that'll be another one, but the Mercy and Toe's going to be healing him, but healing him only. And with Wowzer dead on the underside, that means they don't have any more healing for the rest of the team. And Ubers, this should be a fight that they're slowly just going to outlast Kingsmen in until Wowzer does get back.
I just saw heard Tyrant Taco ult there as well, and maybe like a one-man res at most because Wowzer still remained dead. So I don't think there was much value really gained from Resurrect being used at such an early stage here. And clearly Roffigator is paying a lot of attention to this game right now. It's good to know. Buds again will be the first line of defense, I guess, in a lot of ways. He's in charge of the skies, and players like Coolmat and Roffigator will be in charge of the ramp. That they need to push this payload up. And it's quite conceivable, Jason, for this payload not to make any more progress for the rest of the round at this rate. Need to see some ults come online.
Yeah, I mean, the barrage isn't really going to do much by itself, especially with the way Buds is playing. He's going to not barrage first, unless he feels like he's going to be safe enough from the enemy Pharah. And that's what you have Coolmat even able to hook him in. They need the Earth Shatter, but to hit an Earth Shatter is going to be a little bit difficult. They have the res, which is going to be good, and the tactical visors are being used out of Vonethil just to kind of force them back, looking for some early kills. But they force them in a server room, where they can be pushing directly on them with the whole hog, the barrage all coming in, and there's a clean wipe. Wowzer's the last man to survive, but still Nubers have wiped them out completely.
It's crazy actually because Kingsmen exposed themselves so much by pushing into this room without killing Buds first. You just came up behind them and just ulted right at them. On one side there was a barrage, on the other side there was Coolmat's whole hog. It's like almost being in a trash compactor of massacre. It wasn't ideal anyway, so Kingsmen have to come back in. They actually have some ultimates to work with. Dragon still has his barrage, but he needs to get in a decent vantage point to actually use that here. I don't really know when that's going to happen, as Roffigator as well has an ultimate ready to go. See, is he just keeping himself behind that shield nice and safe? He'll have a shield of his own if he needs it. And Canada A has made the switch over towards that Reaper here, but struggling to get close enough to actually make good use of those Hellfire shotguns.
He's his teammate. This is like a horror movie, right? Like someone gets yanked into their death and he's just kind of like, oh, what happened? I didn't see it. Yeah, like if you're going to get hooked in one by one, especially when you're one of the few damage dealers on your team, you're not going to have a hope of actually being able to push in successfully. And they kind of just need to sit behind the Reinhardt shield, use Disclaimer shield to block, you know, the rockets, to kind of block out the hooks coming through. And that Kingsmen are kind of struggling at this point in time to really make any sort of push successful. Vonethil also just staying on the high ground, you know, towards the backside of the actual platform. It's just laying down a lot of fire as well as Buds.
The thing is that Nubris are not going to give any ground. They're not going to say, yeah, we'll let you push up to the door before we fight. Now Dragon going to have to concussive blast himself away. He actually does escape that one there, as Coolmat is the one to fall instead. Buds, of course, is opposite numbers, going to have to be constantly healed up, and eventually he's picked off by a direct hit from Dragon himself. But Roffigator gets himself right in towards the backline here as well. He'll be disrupting the play as much as he possibly can, while Buds is going to keep himself back on his feet. He does fall yet again.
And I think Ro64 just helped Canada A kill Coolmat by knocking him into that corridor as quick as he could with the Primal Rage. The payload's actually still moving though, so finally Kingsmen have been able to get something going. Vonethil popping that tactical visor, now on the low ground to kind of force them into a different position. And even Ro64 jumping on point just to be a nuisance to Disclaimer, as Vonethil with 1 HP will fall to Dragon. That's actually a big kill coming through.
Yeah,
if Buds can't save this, then this is going to be a rough patch for him.
Absolutely, just about to say that. Buds needs to do some serious work there, but Dragon catches a rocket mid-air, and now Disclaimer has to deal with Coolmat in front of him and has to put his shield in the wrong direction. That's just more free damage for Buds. He's going to land that one towards Bike Age as well, who was already arguably low, but there's a barrage ready to go for him for the next fight. Vonethil's actually switched to Tracer here, interestingly enough, as he was picked off by Dragon, being pushed right up into the corner and summarily executed by one of the Pharah rockets. So we'll see how this one now comes into play, as he actually wants to maybe even prevent Kingsmen from getting even as close as they have before, push them back even further, or just harass their backline that much worse.
We do have the barrage for Buds. You see him kind of waiting for his moment to go in. Use the Concussive Blast to get around the corner. But Coolmat popping the whole hog might have just been enough here. And this position of the barrage is not the best, but they don't need to really pull out the best against Kingsmen because they're absolutely dominating them. 50 seconds left to go on the clock here. The res is going to come in for Kingsmen, but they're just reviving their entire team back to their deaths.
It's just insanely good. I mean, and the whole hog is what we saw used in that fight so crucially here. Nubrus starting to get chunked down a little bit, but the fact that Buds is still alive, and he may be low, but no one's damaging him there. Earthshadow going to miss because the shield was up in front there. Stoop protected his entire team from being knocked down, and Buds is free to just pick some daisies and throw some rockets down.
Finally get some heals. Now 25 seconds to go. Need to see maybe a Tracer come in, or the last successful attack, but Dragon... You just need to wait for your team, man. The thing is now, with the way Nubis are playing, they're pushing in, not allowing them to group up as a 6, so they can't continue to push this payload or have that last final attack. Tyrant's going to fall to Vonethil on the Tracer, and the payload actually was being moved for a split second, I believe it was, out of Wowzer. But that might have just done it. I think Nubris, all they need to do is just pass distance, not even capture the point to finish off this series.
Yeah, I think that's going to decide it pretty comfortably there as well. So, Buds, one of many of the Nubis players causing some real problems for Kingsmen. And I was actually going on a little bit there. Whole hog is incredibly good. There are a lot of ultimates that combo well with other ultimates and do damage and maybe deny area, but that one also gives you safety as well for the Roadhog. So all the things you really need in an ult, probably the 3 most OP metrics in the game to use there, and we saw how effectively Coolmat was able to use that one there as well. In the server room, you can't escape the whole hog, and you're likely to be pinned up against a wall, unable to do anything. So not only are you taking damage, but you're essentially stunned for all intents and purposes. There's nothing that Kingsmen can do about that one as well. To be fair, I've got to give credit to Dragon for actually pressuring Buds in quite a few cases. I think he was able to even shut him down once or twice there. But Buds wasn't the focal point. It wasn't the core of Nubris' strategy there as well. I definitely think it came down towards Coolmat and Stoop, making it impossible for Kingsmen to get into that server room without taking a ridiculous amount of damage first.
And now Nubris have, what, 6 minutes to just actually get to the next point that you need to capture just a little bit extra further in distance, which is 33.40 meters.
Yep.
That's not too difficult for teams like Nubris who can finish this map against teams like Luminosity, you know, against the best in North America. So Kingsmen have to pull out a defense, an insane defense like they have never seen before, except maybe channel their Envious and hold them back in spawn. We
can see the point there. So doesn't like you said, Jason, doesn't even need to get to the hangar gate. They need that first point nailed down, but that's about it. So Canada A did set down a turret there as well. If he sets himself in the server room, obviously he can't attend to that turret, and it's likely that someone like Buds can fly over the top and just get rid of it. In terms of the rest of the team composition here as well, Wowzer is going to be on that Roadhog here as well. Disclaimer on the Reinhardt. So actually fairly simple. In fact, almost a mirror of what Nubis used in the last half, except instead of we have a Torbjorn in the mix here as well. That's the big change. We'll see if it works out. Now on the attacking side, Vonethil are going to be pressing forward the rest of his team, and the Pharah, Ro64 are going to be on that Diva as well here, who, like you said, even on King's Row, can be quite pivotal.
Just trying to make sure the shuttle looks good. It's a good on him. Maybe seeing why he's the coach and not a player. He's too busy trying to draw.
It's all about the cosmetic aspects, right?
Exactly.
You got to win with style sometimes. It's not enough just to win.
All right, so now this Reinhardt shield, which honestly doesn't even need to be up because no one's shooting from behind it, and you're not really protecting anyone from damage since you're hidden anyways. Just slight little missteps by Disclaimer there could actually cost them quite a bit when it comes into the final push, because now his shield's basically gone. He's going to get hooked in. He's going to fall. And now the rest of his team should ideally die one by one. The Torbjorn out of Canada A is actually about 70% onto his Molten Core, but he'll fall before he even has a chance to use it. The Red's going to come in defensively out of Nubris, and then get the entire team back alive with a big wipe on Kingsmen.
And that's going to be it. The payload just going to get across the line. That's all it took, and perhaps we're not so surprised. Their Nubris are going to take the series 2-0 pretty comfortably there as Kingsmen. Unfortunately, we're not just up to the measure at all. That again being said, you're going up against Nubris in like the second round of the tournament. Not an easy feat at all.
There's still more chances though for Kingsmen. We still have qualifiers coming up the next 2 weeks. It's not like this is the last chance for any of the teams. And the top 16 teams with top 4 from each qualifier will be going through to the regional finals kicking off in the beginning of August, split between EU and NA, until we have the best teams in North America and Europe to battle it out at Gamescom for 100 grand.
That's it. That sounded very well rehearsed, by the way. That was seamless.
If you went back and watched the shows we did when we had these like long delays, and not to mention the ties and all that stuff happening, I got so good.
He's implying I didn't watch the shows last week.
Did you watch all the shows every second?
No, I watched a lot of it though as well. I
did see you in chat. I did make fun of your watermelon arms, and then I saw you in chat.
No, you said I was crap at McCree last week, and I was sat in the chat listening to you.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was there. Anyway, so after the break, we're going to be going to the round of 32. We're trucking along here, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Nubris, as we just saw, going up against Elevate. So hopefully, potentially, perhaps a more interesting matchup than what we've seen so far. But as this is the top of the bracket going through from round of 128, we don't expect too many close games right at the start. Hopefully, though, this next one will deliver just a little bit more for us. We'll see you after the break.